schools, homes, and workplaces.
Today, the conventional energy sources we have are expensive and they are hazardous to the environment. And I stand for clean and affordable sources of energy.
I believe that every young person has right to a well-paying job, which leads to economic growth.
Innovative industries are the backbone of the growing economy and generation. I am Blessing. Let's work towards creating innovative industry and infrastructure.
A world where you are you, I am me, and we are both given equal opportunities. I stand for reduced inequalities.
I stand for sustainable communities and cities. We can put an end to damaging our environment.
We must be responsible for what we produce and what we consume. Whatever we take out of our earth, we should ensure that we put it back right in it.
Over the years, our ecosystem has been depleted by man's misuse of the environment, leading to rising sea levels, which has also led to flood, drought, and other rising heat waves on plant life and animal life. We need to respect the ecosystem, we need to respect Mother Earth, so Mother Earth can take care of us and also the future unborn, which is the goal of the SDGs.
The way we take care of life on ground is the same way we should take care of life below water. Flora and fauna and massive resources below seabed. I stand for life below water.
Hi, my name is Rachel Wakimbebuje. We must protect and restore life on land.
War and terrorism have caused great pain in our society. So therefore I introduce to you peace, justice and strong institutions.
The SDGs are individual goals.
We are stronger and achieve more when we work together.
We stand for partnership for the goals.
Psychologists have discovered that procrastination isn't caused by laziness or lack
forces propelling Nigeria forward, and their contribution is pivotal in our journey towards the SDGs while ensuring that no community is left behind. For over 3 years, Oxfam in Nigeria, in partnership with the Work and Projects Project and the Nigeria Youth SDGs Network, has dedicated International Youth Day to honor the endeavors of youth changemakers through innovation challenges, spotlight awards, and meaningful conversations.
Our journey towards a better world guided by the Sustainable Development Goals is a path that young people are uniquely positioned to shape. Imagine each SDG as a puzzle piece, contributing to a larger picture of a world where everyone has a chance to thrive. The role of youth in achieving these goals is like the glue that holds this puzzle together. The International Labour Organization is right here with you. We are supporting ideas that help young people find design jobs in green economy, in digital economy, through promoting and supporting policies, including the National Youth Employment Action Plan.
I'm a Nigerian, giants of Africa, kings of jollof rice, and descendants of evil spirits who picked drowning over slavery. We are a stubborn race. Rich smells, richer culture, richest government, and poorest people. But that's not all we have. My country is also home to comedians, underpaid clowns, cleaning off their makeup with tears and turning everything we can't mourn into a joke.
Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? Can you hear me? You can hear me. Please say hi in the comment box. Just say hi, hello, everyone. If you know you can hear me, you can see me. Say hi, say hello, say nice to be here. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Abigail.
Hello. Nice being here. My name is Yekin.
Oh, nice to meet you, Yekin. It's great to have everybody here today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining. My name is Boluwatife Ajayi, and I'm the Program Associate at the Nigerian Youth SDGs. I'm so excited to have everybody here today. It's amazing to have young people gather together and celebrate our work ourselves. It's amazing because we are launching the Youth Spotlight Compendium. This is something that we've had in works for a while now, and we'll be spotlighting, 50 young people that have been doing amazing work in sustainable development. And trust me, the launch is going to be very exciting. We have so many exciting things set for today. We'll be having a spoken word presentation. We're having a panel discussion, a panel well, and other things that we have in store for you. We would also be having very important guests. We'll be having our partners from Oxfam in Nigeria. We'll also be having the director of the United Nations Information Center in Nigeria. So I want us to use the comment section, put some emojis. Let's show some excitement. Our young people. I want to see our excitement. Yes, I can see some dancing emojis. Okay, I want to see more. 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 Yes, 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 yes. I hope you've invited your friends to join in as well. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Make sure to tell your friends that they should join in. We're live. Okay, so without further ado, I'll be calling on the director, the executive director of Nigerian Youth SDGs, Mr. Joshua Alade, as he comes on stage the opening remarks. Please let's welcome him. Let's do some tapping emojis.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
I'm excited to be here today. This week is a very, very important week. It's a week that signifies the importance of sustainable development in our world. And across the whole world, a lot of people are speaking on the issue of sustainable development. It's been 8 years since the SDGs was launched in 2015, and we have, say, less than 7 years to reach sustainable development. And as an organization, the Network of Youth for Sustainable Initiative believes so much in youth leadership. We know that with young people leading the drive for sustainable development, it will be easier for our world to reach it. Today is a great day, and it promises to, as we gather here for the launch of the Youth SDG Spotlight Compendium. This event really marks a turning point in our commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals as an organization and the world. And it actually shows the crucial role that young people play in achieving the SDGs. The SDGs to us at Nigerian SDGs is not just a set of global goals. To us, it signifies the promise of future generations. It actually represents our shared vision for a more equitable, sustainable, and prosperous world. And today, we come together to put a spotlight firmly on our young leaders who are driving force behind sustainable development in Nigeria. I believe that our young people are not just leaders of tomorrow, they are leaders of today. The voices, their passion, their actions are not just important, they are essential. And that's why we created the SDG Spotlight Compendium, to show for the remarkable efforts and contributions of young Nigerians who are tirelessly working towards localizing the SDGs in our country. If you flip through the pages of the compendium when it is launched, it's actually a celebration of the ingenuity, resilience, and determination of the average Nigerian young person. It shines the light on the projects that they have done, their initiatives, and the innovations that they are making, trying to use that to make a difference in our world. You find stories of young people who are climate activists, people who are driving sustainable development at the grassroots. You find stories of young entrepreneurs who are trying to ensure that there's access to renewable source of energy in communities across Nigeria, from Kano to Bayelsa. You will see young people who are actually advocating for quality education, those who are driving the action for economic growth, young advocates who are actually championing social justice and equity. This compendium launch is not actually a celebration of past achievements. The reason why we are doing this is actually to ignite a fire for the remaining 7 years of the SDGs, of the need for meaningful youth engagement and youth leadership. It's important that we are using this compendium to challenge ourselves, to challenge stakeholders, to recognize the immense potential of young people. It's about acknowledging that when young people are engaged, empowered, and supported, they can lead transformative change. When you have the opportunity to go through the compendium, I want us to just know that this is not just a book. It's actually a call to action. It's a call to the Nigerian government. It's a call to international development organizations. It's a call to the private sectors. It's a call to every youth stakeholder to listen to the voices of young people, to involve them in decision-making, and to invest in their dreams and aspirations. It's also a call to young people to continue the remarkable work that you are doing, even if nobody recognizes you. Stay passionate and never underestimate the impact that you are making. Your actions can and will shape the future of Nigeria. Today, as we launch the SDG Spotlight Compendium, I want us to continue the commitment towards nurturing a Nigeria where every young person has the opportunity to thrive, where we recognize their talents and we celebrate them, and where they continue to contribute fully to the achievement of the SDGs in our country. I want to thank every one of you. I want to give a special thanks to Oxfam in Nigeria for their support. I want to also thank Action for Sustainable Development for your support, and also thank the United Nations in Nigeria for the support to young Nigerians who are taking positive action towards the SDGs. Thank you, and let the journey towards a brighter future begin.
Hey, thank you so much, Joshua, for that. That was a wonderful opening remark. We're all here for young people. We know that young people are always doing amazing things. We're full of life. That's one thing about young people. And I want us to, yes, please use the comment section, put some, your own remarks as well, say something. I know that we're not physically together, but yes, we can make do with this. Yes, I'm saying it. Thanks so much, everyone that has joined so far. Thank you so much. We're honored to have you all here. And now, I mentioned before that we have some special guests in our midst. Yes. So without further ado, we're going to be having our keynote address. And I'll be introducing the Director of the United Nations Information Center in Nigeria, Mr. Ronald Kayanda. Please let's welcome him as he comes on to take the keynote address. Okay, seems like Mr. Kayanda is having a bit of network issue. Okay, so while it comes on, I want us to unmute, and say where you are joining in from. Are you joining in from Nigeria? Are you joining in from, which state are you joining in from?
Hi, my name is Yakin. I'm joining from Abuja, Nigeria.
Hi, go. All right, hi. Nice to have you. Who would like to go next?
Okay, I'd like to go next. My name is Ayodele Ayoakunde. I'm joining you from Ekiti State, Nigeria. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to have you.
Good morning. Nice to have you. Who would like to go next? I would like to go next. Good morning, all. My name is Rabi Adamu Musa. I'm the founder and CEO at Macrisa Foundation. I am joining from Kaduna, Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Who would like to go next?
Yeah, good morning. My name is Abdulbasir Bashir. I'm joining from Kaduna State. I'm the founder and CEO of Redmix Energy. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Morning.
Nice to have you here. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. My name is Chioma Ukwabi. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm the Executive Director of Skill Up with Katso.
Yay, nice to have you, Chioma.
Good morning. My name is Shamsia Umar. I'm joining from Nasarawa State.
Oh, nice to have you. Nice to have you.
Good morning. My name is Idris Biliaminu Indasadula. I'm joining from Kaduna State, Nigeria. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Jackson Olaisi. I'm living in Front Araba. the linguistic precise.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Winright Best, and I'm joining in from Abuja. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul.
Good morning.
I'm joining from Ogun State, Nigeria.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who would like to go next?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ambassador Dr. Wale Ojewola. I'm the DG CADA Africa. I'm joining from Erua in Ibarapa East area of Oyo State. Thank you.
Nice to have you, sir. Who would like to go next?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
I'm Rafiu, the Executive Director of Youth Enterprise Development and Innovation Society, YEDIS, from Osogbo, Osun State, Nigeria.
So nice to have you, sir. Who would like to go next?
Good morning, everybody. I am Abigail Anazamak, and I lead She Solves Africa. I'm excited to be here, and I'm joining from Lagos State.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Ire Shaliwa Mohamed Bello. I am the founder of Nima Andre Foundation, a fundraising organization for healthcare emergencies. I'm joining from Lagos.
Nice to have you. Thank you, everyone, for telling us where you are joining me from. Okay, now I can see Mr. Ronald Kayanda is back on. So let's welcome the Director of the United Nations Information Center in Nigeria as he comes on stage the keynote address.
Hi, Bolwaspe. Hi, everyone. I think Mr. Ronald Kayanja might be having issues with his connection. If we can just halt the flow, can we have Zachary Emmanuel and just give us a spoken word presentation while we wait for Mr. Kayanja? Zachary, would you be ready for a spoken word right now? All right, so I'll just put a spotlight on Zachary now.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm trying to get my connection right. So my name is Zachary Emmanuel Mekalma, and okay, sorry, my video is off. Forgive me. So I had to find a quiet place in the office. I don't know the reflection behind me. So my name is Zachary.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Sadio Hadifu, Baba from the Resource Center for
Can I go ahead?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry, I thought someone was speaking. Okay, my name is Zachary Emmanuel Mekalma, and I am a spoken word artist and a creative social justice advocate. As a creative social justice advocate, I lead a youth movement in Nigeria called the Advocacy Movement, where we use the creative arts to drive meaningful youth participation in civic engagement, governance, leadership, and political processes. I am passionate about SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institution as a creative and as a poet, and also SDG 4, quality education. So this morning I'll be reciting us a piece titled Critical Thinking. So when you sit down to think, what do you think of? How distinctive and how profound could you be from the regular? See, you want to write history, but yet you can't afford a pen. Fearless like a lion, but yet you said you're scared of a den. So whenever I sit down to think, I think of my thoughts on how hospitable I could be when I invite her for a dinner for food for thought. But what were you thinking? Yes, you. What were you thinking when you were carried away in a ship like Titanic that was sinking? Tell me to your puzzle what was missing. Napoleon Hill said, we have the ability to control our mind. So I bring out a canvas to paint me a mental imagery. But this is me seated here, converting my kinetic energy into potential. See, I'm sitting in front of you, but my mind's eye sees me in London, Cairo, Chicago, Trinidad, Tobago, a place where no one from my hometown has ever gone. You could tell by my sense of empathy, my words needed not to be said in verbatim, it could be heard through telepathy. Sometimes in my reflection, I say, dear Lord, why have you given Nigeria crude oil? For this crude oil has become a blessing and a curse. Now the curse overthrown the blessing, and the blessing is appeasement to the curse. Now, critically, the critics criticize the critics, and the critics falls on the critics. But what do you think of? Yes, you, what do you think of? Is he love, fortune, makeup, life, cruel, nasty, corny, or high-rise inflation, the massive starvation, livelihood, degradation, our leaders, corruption. Our brains are made up of 12 billion nerve cells arranged in an echelon, but what do you do with them? Yes, Oga, what do you do with them? Madam, what do you do with them? For your actions, your words, you can't even account for them. See, right from time, man said, man is brutal and nasty, but JJ Russell say, no. Society made me who I am. But I put it to you like my law friends who say, yes, you are who you are. For a man with no thought is a myth. A man with no thought is a myth. So pardon my manners if I wasn't listening when you were trying to get my attention. I was just critically thinking of SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institution. Thank you, beautiful people.
Yes. That was awesome. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Zachary.
Amazing.
I can see that people are putting, saying something in the comment box. Yes. That was an amazing piece. Like I said before, that young people are full of life. We have so many things that we're doing. It's amazing, it's remarkable. Hi, Mr. Ronald. I want to confirm you can hear me. You can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, sir. So now we'll be welcoming Mr. Ronald Kayanja, the Director of the United Nations Information Center in Nigeria, as he takes the keynote address. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I feel so delighted to be at the launch of this wonderful compendium which I have here, Youth Sustainable Development Goals Spotlight. I congratulate you for the work you continue to do. I can see social entrepreneurs, activists, innovators, thinkers, movers, and drivers of various goals of the Agenda 2030. Just like we've just had one of you. This is really, for me, very exciting. When I see you, I get even more optimistic. In spite of the fact that only 15% of the SDG targets are on track, there is reason for us to be optimistic. I have two reasons to be optimistic about the achieving of Agenda 2030. One is that this time we have had more meaningful engagement of young people as actors in the SDGs. It's like a movement. Never before have we deployed the energies and skills of our young population for development purposes, like we have now with climate action and the SDGs. If you are following what's going on in New York, you have a group of young people that are calling on governments to do more, not only on climate issues, but also on the SDGs. So this, for me, is a big change that we are seeing. And the compendium we are going to launch today is a testimony to this, the actions of young people. Secondly, why I'm optimistic is that we have an increasing set of innovations and technologies that can be deployed for countries that we call developing countries to leapfrog and work faster to achieve the goals. Let me briefly remind us of how we got here, where we are, and where we want to go. I'll not go into so much of detail, but let me briefly give a bit of context. From the 1960s, there were growing concerns about development, that this development, the way we're developing countries, we were getting more and more destroying our environment. So there were calls for us to talk about the relationship between how we develop, how we prosper as people and as countries, and how that affects the environment for future generations. So this led to the first ever International Conference on Environment, which was convened by the United Nations in Sweden in 1972. It was called the United Nations Conference on Human Environment, and it was in Stockholm in June. At that conference, most of the issues we're even discussing today came up, like the link between economic growth, pollution of our air, water, and oceans, and the well-being of people around the world. It was at that conference, actually, that the UN Environment Program, UNEP, was formed. And again, it was at that conference that the World Environment Day, which we observe every year on 5th June, it was actually declared because that conference started on 5th June, 1972. It was agreed at that point that there should be a global assessment of the extent of the problems that link prosperity, the environment, and the people. So that's when a World Commission on Environment and Development was set up, which came up with a landmark report, which many of you have heard about. It was titled Our Common Future, and that was in 1986. That commission called for decisive political action for managing environmental resources to ensure that there is progress, human survival, but also that we safeguard our planet. This is one of the things they said. They said, we are forecasting a future. We are serving a notice, an urgent notice based on the latest and best scientific evidence, that the time has come to take the decisions needed to secure resources to sustain this and coming generations. That was in 1986. This is where sustainable development we talk about was first defined. For us to have a full definition of sustainable development, they defined sustainable development as that development which meets the present, the needs of the present, without compromising the ability of future generations to also meet their needs. That was 1986, and the world continued with debates, discussions, conferences. You've heard of Rio 1922, you've heard of many others. But still, the world fails to show political urgency and to pursue real sustainable development. However, there are more scientific confirmation pointing to extreme weather events caused by climate change or global warming, linked largely to human action. And of course, we saw the worsening biodiversity, large-scale pollution, evident in cities and seas, and the worsening human condition. And the writing kept clearly being on the wall for world leaders. This is what ultimately led to the UN General Assembly to agree on Agenda 2030 and the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. All I want to say is that the world takes some of these serious things, sometimes not so seriously. It takes so many years to agree on concrete action, but at least we agreed on some set of action in the SDGs in 2015. This was the first time it was a change of paradigm to start defining development as sustainable development. So the main thrust of sustainable development was to ensure globally that as we prosper as countries, that the planet and the people on this planet are also secure. So if there is anything we have achieved, okay, we are only on track to achieve 15% of the targets. But for me, one thing that we have achieved is to agree that development must always be sustainable development. Gone are the days when development was only through GDP. How high is your GDP? We now ask the governments, we ask the private sector and others to give an account of how they have ensured that they have integrated the environment and social elements in their achievement of prosperity. But the Sustainable Development Goals is only a framework that enables us to practice development mindful of the people and the environment as we pursue prosperity. It's a new way of looking at health, education, water, land, the seas, food insecurity, energy, and everything around us. This is why this framework is so critical. This is why I'm so happy that many of you young people have taken it so seriously. Partly, as I said, in the past, we didn't have much involvement of the young people. Yes, we had people from the academe, researchers, scientists. We had people from the political actors saying some things. It is now that we have a strong movement of young people, because really it is in your hands. And I think, as Joshua said, this is not, we are not saying you are leaders of tomorrow, you are the leaders of today. And I'm so glad that you are not waiting. You have taken the issue of the Sustainable Development Goals very seriously. So that was a small background of how we evolved up to here. But now, where are we? With the goals, as you know, we are halfway this Agenda 2030. However, as I've already said, we are off track.
Good morning,
from
everyone.
achieving the SDGs.
This from Kano. I'm highly welcome for everyone.
Can you hear me?
I'm very happy to.
Please go ahead, sir. So sorry, everyone.
Okay. So as I was saying, that where we are now, we are halfway, and we are not so much on track to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Of the 169 targets, it's only about 15% of them, the recent studies show, that we are on track to achieve. So there has to be an urgent course correction and acceleration. We have to do things very differently so that this principle of leaving no one behind remains. This is why the General Assembly has convened the SDG Summit this week. And yesterday, the General Assembly adopted a declaration to try and accelerate actions to ensure that countries achieve the SDGs. So though the world is off track on achieving the goals at this midway point, as I said, it is possible to improve future prospects. We leverage on scientific knowledge, strengthening governance, and ensuring that what we have already started helps us to build even more. Remember that we now have a wealth of knowledge and evidence, and the work that you guys have already started doing. So we are optimistic because there is something that we are starting from. There are many more people and organizations that have learned about these goals and are putting pressure on governments and companies to operate sustainably. We have groups of young people, even now, as I said, in New York, reminding our leaders. So we have made tremendous progress in terms of building this movement on the Sustainable Development Goals. So it is a platform for us to accelerate. So the next 7.5 years, we have to move faster because there is a lot we have achieved already. There is information we have. We have a lot of research that we have conducted. Many of you have started on things, very, very impressive projects that I've been reading about here. So we are not like 2015 when we were just starting. So we have opportunity to change things around. And so we want to move to accelerate from this 15% to 100%. This is why we need a lot of finance. As you heard the Secretary General says, we need something like $500 billion every year, especially for developing countries. We need a lot of innovations. We need the participation of young people. We need youth energy. We need policies and concrete action. But in my view, the key ingredients that will push us forward are two. One, innovations and technology, and two, the energy of young people, the innovativeness of young people. In the UN, we are now talking about green technologies as one way of speeding up the implementation of the SDGs. These are new and rapidly developing technologies that take advantage of digitalization and connectivity. We are looking at things like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain, nanotechnology, 5G, electric vehicles, robotics, green hydrogen, biofuels, and others. While there's some concern that such technologies may lead to loss of jobs, studies have also showed that there will be so many jobs created by this sector. So it's my call upon you young people to focus your learning and skills in these frontier innovations and technologies, because they are the technologies of today and the future. You also need to push leaders to embrace and invest in these technologies. We realize that there is not so much adequate research in these technologies in many parts of Africa. We see countries in Asia and elsewhere putting a lot of investment in these technologies. These technologies will really help us to leapfrog and to move forward. African young people should also not be like the generations of their parents. Remember, you have people who, especially Africans, who always pity themselves, looking to others for help to develop their societies, moving here and there to beg for people to help Africa. As young people, you have what it takes to use your ideas, energy, and resourcefulness to start working. Just as I've seen with many of your initiatives, we should not be beggars of this world. Rather, we should be the sources of badly needed innovations and solutions in this challenging world. So let me once again thank you for your active participation in Agenda 2030. I have a lot of hope in you that you are probably the game changers. As I said, there has been this talk from the 1970s and not much changes. Or things change, but they change very slowly. But as we have this, is that you're already making a difference, and you should only keep it up. Let us work harder, keep our focus, and not give up. While it is true that we are off track in meeting the SDGs, we still have 7 years, and we are able to achieve it. We need your energy, innovation, and ideas to push this agenda forward and leave no one behind. Thank you so much for your attention, and I'm so excited about this compendium, which shows what you have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Kayanja. I want us to put in the comments box, thank you, sir, put in what you've learned. He has said so many important things. You know, young people are doing amazing work. Like you said, we are change makers. Without us, there's nothing for us. It's so exciting to have the opportunity to be considered a change maker in our country and all over the world. We're doing amazing things that some people don't want to start doing. You know, some people just want to chicken out something that we come forward to do. You know, UNIC has been partnering with so many civil society organizations, with young people, to ensure that we work towards Agenda 2030. Thank you all so far for joining. Okay, I'm seeing people. Yes. Please make use of the comments box, use your reactions, use the emojis. Now we're moving close to the climax of today. We're moving close. Who can guess? Who can guess what is about to happen? If you can guess right, who knows? I might just give you 10 million naira. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so without further ado, I'll be inviting Mr. Prince Obodo, who is the Work in Progress Project Coordinator at Oxfam in Nigeria, as we unveil, I wish I had jumped with me, as we unveil the Compendium.
Thank you, Bolua. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, and I want to say thank you and appreciate all who has joined today on this, very great occasion of the unveiling of the Youth Sustainable Development Goal Spotlight. This compendium I have here with me, I'm very excited. Within the pages of this compendium, you will go on a very interesting journey, that unveils the extraordinary stories of young individuals who are doing remarkable things and are actually catalysts for change and advancing the SDGs in Nigeria. This compendium also at the same time, it also serves as a celebration of youth, young people in Nigeria, and also another way for Oxfam in Nigeria to also celebrate the extraordinary youth initiatives, that young people are doing, to shape the landscape of the country. These inspiring stories is a testament to the determined spirit of Nigerian youth, who refuse to accept the status quo, but instead, go ahead to forge their own path, creating a brighter future for themselves. Each story within the pages, as you unveil it, is actually going to show you a true testament of power of courage, innovation and passion that young people have in Nigeria. From the streets of Lagos to the east, to the Niger Delta, and also the north, these young leaders have championed causes very close to their hearts, whether it be education, environmental sustainability, renewable energy, gender equality, or social justice. Their initiatives have touched lives of countless individuals, leaving an indelible mark on their various communities and Nigeria at large. Through their determination and resilience, they have shattered barriers, developed disruptive solutions, and challenged stereotypes, proving that age is not a limitation when it comes to making a difference. Let their stories ignite a flame within you, inspiring each and every one of you to embrace your own potential and become a force for positive change. May these stories serve as a clarion call for all Nigerians out there to rise, to lead, and create a future that is truly inclusive, prosperous, and just. Thank you so much for this compendium, and well done to each and every one of you.
Can you turn the pages for us to see? We are so jealous.
Sure, why not? So if you can see this, so you can see the remarkable stories of young Nigerians doing very impressive things within their various spaces. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting read. At least I've enjoyed reading the first few pages, and I plan to finish here. So I hope you all are excited as I am for this book. And if you also check out the chat, you'll also see a link for you to also be able to download a copy of this book. Very, very interesting, very exciting. Well done, Nigerian Youth SDGs. Well done, everybody.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You.
Hi, Boluwatife.
Hi.
I saw that the screen was showing the compendium seconds ago. I was wondering if we could just keep scrolling, let everybody see their faces. I don't know if it's possible.
Yes, Mr. Joshua will handle that. Then there's also a link in the comment box for you to download it as well. It is amazing. Yes, you can look at the screen also. Yay, I'm so excited. Also, I'm excited, was super excited to showcase everybody's work. 50 young leaders in Nigeria doing amazing work, creating challenging initiatives in sustainable development. Oh my God, this is
Wow,
nice.
I can see myself.
Yay.
Yeah.
So if it's something you want to share with your network, you just know that your work has not gone on. That you are so excited. You are super, super excited. Thank you so much, Mr. Prince, for the unveiling. Thank you so, 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 so much. Please make use of the link in the comment box to download a soft copy of the compendium. Share with your network, share with your friends. Oh my goodness. This is so amazing. I'll give us a minute to bask, to bask in the compendium. Yeah. Don't forget the link to download is in the comment box. Please make use of the link to download a soft copy of the compendium. Okay. I love that. If you've downloaded, please put in the comment section that yes, I have downloaded the compendium. To make it the comment section, let's go put up something. Yes. I'm saying that. Okay. The link to download is in the comment box. Please make use of that. Yes. Okay. You can see that people are commenting. Thank you. Okay, so without further ado, we'll also be having the panel session. Remember, I said we have exciting things. So we'll be having a panel session, and Paul Iriola, who is the founder of Aqua World, would be moderating the panel session. And I would also want us to know that our panelists and also our moderators are also, part of the Youth Spotlight nowadays. And it's so amazing to have everybody here come together to share their work. So right now, I'm going to pass the mic on to Paul Iriola as he moderates the panel session. So let's use the comment box to, introduce them, celebrate them. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Bolwatife, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Trust me, it has been a super and exciting event, especially for those of us that have seen our beautiful faces on the compendium. Trust we're excited. And kicking off from where a keynote speaker from the point he raised, he said, this time is where we have experienced more engagement from the younger generation. And this session, we want to listen from some of those drivers, those that have driven this engagement, some that has, created innovative solutions, right, to address some of our burden challenges in Nigeria. And without further ado, I'll introduce our panelists for this session. The first, Oyinye Omenuga. She's a law graduate and a social innovator of Lawsonite, an initiative that provides an enabling platform and access to a better and quality education for law and aspiring law students with disabilities in Nigeria. Onye, kindly say hi to our audience.
Thank you so much, Paul. Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
Okay, I think ONA is having an issue with our network. Okay, so while she settles our network, I'd just like to say that Nigerian youth SDGs know we're very much interested in meaningful youth engagement. We want to see, a platform and an opportunity for young people to showcase their work, for young people to be able to address issues. We don't want a tokenistic approach to engagement. We want to see young people have discussions on challenges that they are facing while working on sustainable development. Like I mentioned before, that young people are already doing amazing work. So it's important that we spotlight the work that we are doing. It's important that we showcase what we're doing, that we talk about what we're doing. What challenges, what opportunities are we seeing? Is there, an opportunity that we see that nobody seems to be making use of it? This is one of the things that we're always looking out for, and it's so amazing to have everybody here today. It is something that would, forever remain, in our minds, in our hearts, to be part of this. Okay, I can see that Paul is back on. Okay, I'll pass the mic to Paul now.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. Sincere apologies. Just take that as a network glitch. All right, here we've heard from Menuga, we've heard from her, from OEA, and I don't know if we've done that before, but I'd like to present to us the next panelist, who is Elona Irezi, a senior program analyst at Sindani Group. She has participated in global efforts to build climate-forward solutions as a delegate of COI 17 and COP 27, advocating for mitigation, adaptation, and climate finances in the global south. Please welcome Elona. Elona, kindly unmute your mic and say hi to the audience.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Nice to meet everyone.
Okay, nice to really meet you. All right, so without wasting our time, moving on to our
Hi, Paul. I think you should just turn off your video, and probably you're having short bandwidth.
Oh, okay. All right, try because I have a short bandwidth. All right, my first to Luna, audible and clear. So Luna, you play an active role in climate action. About Luna.
Hi, so I missed some parts of question. I think your network was buffering at the time, but yeah. If you could take that again, please.
Okay, I'll take that here. Is this much better? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah,
okay.
thanks for coming.
I said in climate action.
Yeah.
I would like you to share with the audience what inspires on.
Okay, thank you very much. So hello everyone once again. My name is Elena Erezi. So I'm having issues turning on my camera on my laptop. So I'm just gonna turn on my camera on phone and then speak to my phone. So hello everyone once again. the question here, what inspired me to become actively involved in advancing the SDGs in Nigeria. So one thing is for sure, there's something we know that the SDGs are quite cross-cutting. It means that while the goals stand alone, goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, goal 4, they are really cross-cutting in that the success of one goal can lead to the realization of another. So I basically have my background in health, right? Within the health, I have a health-related course, and while working towards, starting my career and working towards achieving universal healthcare coverage, ensuring that everyone have access to quality healthcare services, especially at the primary healthcare level, while even working to ensure that healthcare facilities have access to I don't know if that was me, but have access to quality and affordable medicines and vaccines. I began to realize something else, that we can only go as far as the success that we realize in every other aspect of the SDGs. So even if I'm going to make sure that, even if the work I do is going to contribute to, ensuring that everyone has access to healthcare, safe delivery, when it comes to women and all of that, children, reduce mortality rate of under 5 children, I realize that there's something else that could be bigger than us. That's the issue of climate change. Now, the real impact of climate change, like we already know, countries from the global south and Nigeria generally don't even contribute a lot to it, even if right now, Nigeria is burning a lot of fossil fuels, but I'm talking about the impacts that we now experience. Okay. I began to see that the real impacts in terms of heat waves, droughts, flooding, and all of that can actually lead to worsening healthcare systems, and could actually lead to worsening healthcare systems. And I began to tell myself, okay, since these things are not standalone issues, since the challenges that we are facing right now, they're not really like standalone issues, why not you look at something else that could be contributing to the challenge that the problem that you are trying to solve? Again, because of the whole climate change scenario around the world, a lot of countries are already ahead in terms of the solutions that they're already implementing, the plans that they're already having, and all of that. But I'm looking at Nigeria right now. Fine, we have the adaptation plan, we have the Climate Change Act, we have a few other documents, but I'm really looking at it like, if in reality we are hit hard by a particular climate change challenge right now, what are the systems that will be worst affected? Who are the people that will be worst affected? Okay. I mean, in all of this, I kept trying to tie it back to healthcare systems, which I had my background. And I said, you know what? The resilience of communities that are really going to be worst affected need to be strengthened. How do we begin to rethink the way their social infrastructure is being put up? How do we begin to rethink the way their healthcare systems are set up? How do we rethink the way their educational system and all of that is set up? And I really like the fact that I began to think in this way, because beyond that, it made me to see that any solution I'm trying to, prefer to any challenge that I'm solving within SDG 3 and SDG 13, it has to be holistic. It has to be something that affects a bit of every component here and there. It can't just be like a standalone solution, because standalone solutions can also be affected by other issues and other challenges. And then I began to look at the whole climate change awareness scenario in Nigeria. And I was like, you know what? A lot of people don't know about it, and people that know about it think that climate change is not something that is is caused by us, so we're not going to, be impacted by it. It affects a certain class of people, and doesn't affect a certain set of people. What kind of awareness creation mechanisms do we have in Nigeria that, contribute to solving the climate, to addressing the climate crisis? Recently, at Sedani, we conducted a research to really understand how people view the concept of climate change and how they think it affects them. And the results of that research was really amazing, because a lot of people felt that it did not concern them. It's just something it's just a conversation that is being had in high level meetings, when governments go for meetings and all of that. Their awareness and their willingness to even try to take on cleaner forms of energy and all of that was really low. And I understand, because in trying to transition people away from the challenge, from the current actions that we're taking and that might be contributing to the climate crisis, trying to transition them to activities or to processes that would combat the current climate crisis. We also have to look at the socio-economic status of people. I mean, that was something that the research also investigated. And again, to just reiterate, that was when I realized, the challenges that we face in Nigeria, actually in achieving the SDGs, they are very cross-cutting. It's one leaning on another, and me now structuring my solutions and my initiatives and my innovations towards multidisciplinary outcomes. And in really like rounding up this section to the question that was asked, when I saw that in achieving one SDGs, I always had to lean on another. I began to say, I'm going to go all out for this thing. I'm going to see how I can advance one SDG while advancing another. So yeah, while I'm still focusing on SDG 3, good health and well-being, and working on that, working to achieve universal healthcare coverage, and supporting Nigeria through the primary healthcare under one roof initiative. And while I'm still working on the SDG 13, to strengthen the resilience of Nigerians and even communities in Nigeria to combat the climate change challenges we're facing right now. I'm also saying, what else can be done? How do we need to think of our agricultural systems? How do we need to think of the jobs that will be done and all of that? When Mr. Ronald was speaking about how there are growing concerns. People are having growing concerns that there might be no jobs, and because of the transition due to the climate change solutions that are being implemented right now. But there will be other jobs that will be created. How are people prepared to even take on these jobs? Because honestly, in the end, it's people, especially the youths, that will drive the implementation and the acceleration and the progress towards the SDGs. So let me just say that I'm someone that thinks of challenges as not standalone, as cross-cutting, and it really drives me to advance things, really the SDGs, towards shared progress, actually in Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Elona, for that detailed, brief. And so one thing that stood out for me is designing your solution, right, to address the need of the affected groups, and also backing it up with research that is core, and also assessing how it affects them, right? So that is one thing that we all should take away from what Elona said. Whenever you are trying to solve people's problem, make sure that your solution addresses one of the needs, right? And it's going to be a step at a time, right? You can't solve all the problems at once. When you take it a step at a time, you get insights on what's next to do. And also, before you tailor the solution, you need to perform research, right? You need to assess the impact of a solution on the groups. All right, moving forward, I'm coming to Onye. So Onye, youth participation and engagement is critical to drive the SDGs. So what are some strategies that young people want to see from the United Nations, government, private sector, and other stakeholders to ensure we achieve the target of the SDGs in Nigeria?
Thank you so much, Paul, for that question. So, apologies, but I feel like I'm gonna leave my camera off because I'm having like network problem here. Just to get down to your question, I feel like I completely agree with that assessment that this participation and engagement is important, in the drive to achieve the SDGs. Okay. So
okay, sorry, Onye, pardon me to interrupt you. So please, everyone, please mute your mic during this session. Just myself and the panelists. Thank you. So Onye, you can move forward.
Thank you so much, Paul. So just like I was saying, I feel like I agree with that assessment that youth participation and engagement is very important on the drive to achieve the SDGs, right? So, as much I keep saying this, that young people are going to, suffer or benefit the most in any case where the goals are met or not met, right? So for instance, as of 2022, the new UNESCO data shows that we have over 244 million children and youth between the ages of 6 to 18 worldwide who are still out of school. These are young people, right? So we are suffering, the outcome and the benefit, whether benefits or the maybe call it loss. I mean, the young people get to like suffer that the most. So it's very important that young people get involved. Why we keep asking, the UN, keep asking the stakeholders, we keep asking even the private sectors to get the young people involved. We as young people must also be prepared to get involved. There's nothing that beats being prepared because opportunity can meet you and you're not prepared, right? So what are we doing? How are we preparing ourselves? How are we learning the necessary skills? How are we getting ready to, stay prepared that anytime we are called or we get to this decision-making room, how are we going to, make sure our voices are heard? Just like Mrs. Diana, personally, I believe that young people have the power to change the world. When I have conversation with friends, colleagues, mentors, and mentees, I keep saying it. When you hear the approach or even the ideas from young people, you see that most of these people, they have these ideas, they just need the platform, right? So we are asking the UN, we are asking the stakeholders, we're asking, even people in private sector, to drive this change and by getting the young people involved, right? By providing the young people with the platform and giving them the opportunity, right? And that aside, even when we are talking about that, the stakeholders as well as the UN and organizations must also be ready to not just hear from the young people, must also be prepared to implement. It's not enough to invite young people to event. It's not enough to it's not enough to say, oh, we are trying to be inclusive. How are you doing that? How are you making sure that even the ideas they bring to the table are being implemented, right? So all thanks to the organizations that have been actively involving the youth. For instance, the NG youth. You see, I just saw in the comment section where someone said, "Oh, this is the first time their work is getting recognized." There is this excitement that comes with knowing that people are noticing what you are doing, no matter how little, right? So you feel valued no matter how, or no matter how little. You know that, oh, what you are doing is really making an impact, even if it's one person, right? You can scale it up. But how are we getting involved? So, and how are we giving the opportunity? So for me, I keep saying it, young people must be given the opportunity, they must be given the platform to show what they are capable of doing. And as young people too, we must be prepared. When I say prepared, we must have the necessary skills. We must make sure that we are ready, that even when we are given this platform, we're able to showcase what we can do So thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Unyi, for that discussion, that point you've raised. And I think I took 2 points from it, very, very important. What we are saying to the United Nations, to government leaders is involve us throughout the process, right? Involve us throughout the process, from the initiation to the planning to the execution, right? Involve us into the process. We want to be part of everything. This is our life. This is our planet. When you are gone, we'll be left to sustain whatever you have done, right? So involve us. And number 2, give us the platform, right? A lot of us are doing so many things. Give us the platform and upscale our work. Whatever we are doing is going to benefit the country, right? We're not doing it for ourselves. So give us the platform, right? And also help us amplify our efforts and upscale our work. Thank you so much, Onye, for those awesome points. So, okay, Elona, over to you. Now we have stakeholders in the room. So what is your advice to these stakeholders, and how can they effectively engage young people in designing solutions to ensure we leave no one behind on the SDGs in Nigeria? So over to you, Elona.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. So, thanks for that input. I mean, you literally took some of the words out of my mouth. Involve young people, and young people should be prepared, when they're brought to the table. But moving on to the stakeholders in the room, I understand that we have people from Oxfam, we have people from UN. There's a typical process within the corporate world that most organizations tend to start to plan for the new year. So we're getting into 2024, right? And then a lot of organizations are going to start, making plans for the new year and trying to see how they can better utilize the resources that they have at hand for the new year. Say maybe their finances or their human capital or any of that. But I also know that there are quite a lot of plans right now that everybody goes back to really revisit. How far have we gone with this? What else should we, improve on in the next year? It's not enough to make new plans. For the old plans that were made, how far were they implemented? What was the reach of, the impact that you made? And we really need to review that. I was looking at the National Youth Policy. I mean, the Nigerian Youth SDGs had put that together. Kudos to them. And I was seeing that it had a lot of amazing concepts towards enhancing youth development and participation, in Nigeria. But the question again I would ask is, do we actually go back and look at those documents, those amazing plans that we have, and look at our rates of progress, how far we have, made progress over time? Also looked at the National Youth Employment Action Plan. That is a plan that detailed action between 2021 and 2024. Now, next year is 2024, we're in 2023. And as it is typically of most organizations or, the government, we would jump into something else, launch something else that really sounds so good again. But do we really sit down to review, to do a stock take of this is where we were? Then we began this action, we launched this plan, and this is where we are now. And honestly, I don't think we should do something new next year. I think we should improve on this. Maybe it should be like a 2.0 kind of, implementation. Let's further scale it. Let's further see how much progress we can still make. To the stakeholders in the room, really, even as we end 2023, please, let's take the time to really review progress, review impact, and not just activities. So we are reviewing, so we're not just trying to tick off things that we set out to do at the beginning of the year. We are honestly reviewing impact. And in doing this, it's not going to be a one-man show, just you in your organization. This is where you bring in the real recipients, youths, the people for whom you had made these plans, you have made these programs, and you're asking them questions. What can we do better? One thing but one thing I really think that we can do is involve the youths in these processes that seeks to, design new solutions while reviewing old solutions or old plans to really ensure that we are meeting our targets, because our targets are not boxes and saying putting out a report and say we have implemented this program. What is the reach? How impactful has it been? How many people has really been lifted out of poverty and all of that? And to the youths here in the house, one thing I would really like to say is that we should learn to pick up documents. When I was speaking earlier during my first section, I already mentioned that the global challenges that we're facing, they're very, very cross-cutting. They're not standalone, okay? So it means that when you solve one thing, when you solve a particular challenge, another solution is probably leaning on that. For instance, when you ensure that there's, sustainable agriculture being practiced in a community, you are probably contributing to the clean air that they have in that community. You are contributing to increasing their resilience as a community, their socioeconomic resilience, and all of that. So if we as young people, because before you will be brought to the table, we should even know what you are offering, okay? As Onye had earlier said. So learn to pick up these documents that have been developed. In 2023 alone, time before me, there are so many documents that Nigeria has launched, developed. A lot of documents, plans will be ending this year, and new ones will be developed next year. Led organizations, most especially, should pick up these documents and say, you know what, in 2021, 2019, we're asking the minister of this, we're asking that, we're asking this. This is what you set out to do. You've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. There are still 100 things left to do. And honestly, there's no need to make a new plan, because a new plan is not going to might not produce a different solution if these old plans that we have are not even reviewed to see what could have been done better. How can we really achieve them? That's really one thing I want youth to take away from this, while the corporate organizations and the stakeholders represented here understand that there is a need to actually review this global documents that we produce from time to time. Something else I would really like to say, okay? But before I say it, I will just say that Mr. Ronald already said it, and Joshua already mentioned it. This is 2023. We're just like 7 years away from 2030. We're already like half time to achieving the targets, the 169 targets, right? And then we're just like 16% globally in achieving these global goals. We are down, we're not doing well. And you know who suffers the most? It's not really the developed countries, honestly, to be frank. It's the developing countries like Nigeria. We are the ones that, if we don't take the necessary actions and the steps that we need to take, we're the ones that we actually suffer most, because we don't really even have the infrastructure. At 2023, we still have millions of unemployed people that could have been employed. When Mr. Ronald was speaking, he spoke to the fact that there will be a lot of jobs that will be created in the future. The question we should ask ourselves is, as youth in Nigeria, what is our employability index? When you speak to an average Nigeria, what new solution can they bring to the table? These are all of the things that we have to consider in moving forward the SDGs, in really ensuring that no one is left behind. No one is really going to do it for, I'm in Nigeria, so I'm speaking for Nigeria. I'm also a Nigerian. No one is going to accelerate these things for us if we don't take the first step towards accelerating them, and even holding others accountable to support us to accelerate it, and all of that. I like I glanced through the compendium and I see a lot of great things that people are doing across the different SDGs. But please, you can do more. Like you can ensure that your solutions are really like making the impact, that we ensure that no one is really left behind. I had, I also want to say this, that we have to really identify the missed opportunities. I already mentioned it. What can we do better? We have to regain lost ground. There's no time. Okay, so if in 2030, right, we say we're supposed to achieve all of the 17 SDGs and the 1 targets, and we're supposed to have made a lot of progress, almost 100% progress. What is the fate of a country like Nigeria? What is the fate of other countries within Africa? What is the fate of generally countries in the global south? Begin to think of the SDGs as a business, as your business. For those of us here who are would do businesses or would have our own business structures, when you put your money into your business, you are looking after everything that comes out of that business, everybody involved. What is their contribution? Are they valuable? Begin to think of your non-profit, of your non-profit as your business. Begin to think as the SDGs that you are implementing as your business. It's not enough. It's not enough for you to be called to attend a consultation meeting, to give your input. Follow it up. What is going on with this? By the time the government begins to realize that when you call these youth to attend consultation meetings to develop XYZ documents, they are going to ask you after 1 year, after 2 years, you know what, I attended this last year. Please, what is the status of this? What support have you drawn in so far? What extra support do you need? I mean, I can't remember the person that had said that earlier, but youth should really begin to, and I like the steps that a lot of youth are already taking. We should already begin to think of ourselves as the solution, and we're not begging to receive the solution. We are the givers of the solution. Really, I said earlier on, I have looked through the compendium and I saw that there are a lot of solutions that youths are already, working towards and all of that, but there can really be more. Again and again, think of the SDGs in a multidisciplinary manner, because the challenges we are really facing, they're not standalone, they're cross-cutting. And to our stakeholders and to our corporate organizations here, I really want to say, jumping forward and making new plans and making new resolutions and drafting new documents without really reviewing the old ones, the previous ones, with the people that they are meant to reach, make new decisions, new plans, and all of that. We just need to review the old ones and identify the gaps that still needs to be corrected and solve those, and then we can now launch into new territories. So yeah, over to you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Elona. So just 3 words: measuring the impact of existing solution. Secondly, reviewing and updating the roadmap of whatever solution that have been implemented before. Then number 3, communicating the result of this solution through open access data, especially to young people. And also inclusivity and diversity should be a huge factor of whatever solution. All right, so I'm going to call Mubarak after this last question. So because of our time, we would not be able to take all questions through unmuting. Kindly just drop them in the chat box. All right, so Onye, I'm directing this last question to you as we are rounding up this session. So I'd like to know from you, looking ahead as we enter into the second half of the 2030 agenda, what are your aspirations and goals for your work related to the SDG, and how can stakeholders support your efforts? So Onye Omenuga, that question is directed to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Paul. I think this is a very important question. So for me, the work I do at Lost and Aid, at Kate Center for Arts and Creativity, I'm most especially at Lost and Aid, really. So over the coming years, I hope to like leverage on new knowledge, skills I must have acquired to, drive the agenda for education of persons with disabilities. So when I say this, I say it with ultimate, responsibility, right? So I always tell people, quality education, emphasis on quality, not just education, is everybody's right, right? It's a right. And we'll continue to advocate for an inclusive and equitable quality education for persons with disabilities. So when I talk about inclusive, I'm talking about the facilities, I'm talking about the equipment. So when you can't have, for instance, I'm a law graduate currently in the law school, right? So you can have the moot court, which is very essential for the all-round growth of a law student, for instance. You can have a moot court upstairs when there are students that have probably have issues with their leg, you cannot, be able to use the stairs and there's no elevator. How do you expect them to get to the moot court and practice just like their counterpart, right? You can't have the law libraries not inclusive or friendly or disability friendly. I have a friend who has never been to the library, and not because he didn't want to, but because they didn't make any provision that he couldn't access any book. Literally, cannot literally access any material in the law library. This thing shouldn't be heard of in this century and in this time when we are all driving for SDGs, the goals, the global goals. So I'm very, very passionate about SDG 4 for so many reasons. From experience, I've had a relative who had a learning disability, and I always tell people, all we did at that point was just, to put in a little effort. These people learn just like everybody, just that they may learn differently. For instance, someone that is visually impaired, they can write, just that they may write differently. Maybe they can use their braille to write, which is fine. They don't have to do it like you to be able to do. So far, we are getting the same outcome. That is the most important thing. So we have to pay attention to these things, right? Really, really have to pay attention. So, we keep advocating for the right policies, and it cannot just end on the policies. We must also look at the implementation, right? So on how stakeholders can support my effort, right? So I consider this not just my effort, but the effort of the youth, because I have a lot of young people advocating for the SDGs. I am very passionate about SDG 4, especially 4.1, target 4.1, 4.5. I'm also very passionate about SDG 3, which is, good health and well-being, especially the mental health aspect of this. That is 3.4.2. Right? When you talk about the mental health, because these are relevant issues. And again, talk about SDG 16. I mean, that is, even as a law student, there is need for peace, justice, and strong institutions, because the policies coming out from all over the world, and we must also keep driving for the implementation, because it's not enough to make this policy. For instance, on 23rd January 2019, the former president of Nigeria, he signed into law the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018. And the act was given like a 5-year implementation plan to enable modifications of public structures and services that are peculiar to persons with disabilities. 2019, that's 2018. The act is 2018, signed into 2019, and then this is 2023. 5 years is almost gone, nothing. We still have buildings that are not disability friendly. Even new structures that are coming up, they don't even comply to that. So is that enough to make these policies or make these laws and just keep them just there? Just like Elena was saying, we must go back and hold them responsible, right? They must be, we put them there more or less. So we must hold them responsible, because at the end of the day, it's not enough to just go make these policies and just keep them somewhere in your room or in the office without implementation. So on behalf of the youth, I'm calling on the stakeholders to, as much as possible, even after making these policies, to make sure they're implemented, implemented, because these are the issues. You can't just make a law or a policy and keep it just there without plans of, how to implement them, right? Because more than anything, I feel like the stakeholders must ensure that these policies and laws are properly implemented. So that is for me, on what I expect to do, in the coming years, and again, on how I feel like the stakeholders can, support my effort. Thank you again, Paul.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. All right. So please, we've come to the end of the panel session. Mubarak, please, I'll just give you 1 minute, because I know we all have a lot to say. We've gone past the time for the panel session. Please, so 1 minute, Mubarak, kindly unmute your mic and you have the floor. Please, just 1 minute. Hello, Mubarak, are you there? Okay, probably Mubarak is having network issues. Thank you so much to our wonderful panelists, Elona and Onye. We are super excited to get to hear from you, your wonderful insights that you have shared with us. Thank you also, Nigeria Youth SDGs, for giving our youth this platform to speak about their contribution and how they have driven resourceful engagement in Nigeria. Over to you, Ms. Boluwatife, and I remain Paul Ayomide Ibiola. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much to our panelists. That was wonderful. Can we put in the comment section what do you think was brilliant? I know that we're all young people here, so I'll use this term. They are giving us back to back. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Onye. Thank you so much, Elona. Thank you so much. I'm not done yet. So we'll be having a youth-led initiative showcase by 4 of our spotlight nominees. And there are amazing people that will be coming on to showcase their work as well. We have Abigail Anazamak, who is an education and gender equality professional. We also have Abdulbasit Bashir, who is the founder of Revnix Energy. We also have Choma Ufabi, a social entrepreneur and change maker, as well as Chris Prada Dancing, a digital literacy tutor and climate champion. Please, can we make use of the clapping emojis? Let's put something in the comments box. I want to see our emojis. Come on. I want to see our emojis. So they'll be talking about, that inspiration, what led them to take action. They'll be talking about the contributions they've made so far, and even coming to plan to start, that they plan to kick off. So this is something that I look forward to, and I'll be calling on Abdulbasit Bashir to go on first.
All right. Good day, everyone. Is am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you, Bashir.
All right. Good day. Yeah, my name is Abdulbasit Bashir. I'm the founder and CEO at Revnix Energy. Let me first share a story of myself with you. When I was 8 years old, I was sitting outside, having a meal outside at night around 8 p.m. Suddenly, I got to understand that I was even sitting beside a snake without my knowledge. So someone was passing by and a torchlight was flashed. That's where they saw that, yes, I was beside the snake. Do we all know that Nigeria electricity demand is estimated at 24,380 megawatt, but only able to dispatch around 4,000 megawatt? Presently, 40.7% of Nigerian population are not connected to national power grid, according to USAID statistics. As a result, Nigeria self-generates a significant portion of electricity with highly polluting off-grid alternative and at a cost that is more than twice the cost of grid-based power. So what we do at Revnix Energy, we repurpose electronic waste such as batteries, solar power, solar panel, UPS, computer, etc., to produce solar power generator. This in line goes with some of the SDG goals, which start from SDG 7, 12, and 13. And then we use all the electronic waste to get our solar power generator, which is our 500 watt solar power generator. See, this 500 watt solar power generator enable household to charge their mobile device lighting up their home, and also some use it for entertainment. So we never stopped at that because we knew what the crisis we are facing nowadays, which is climate action. So what we basically do is we create a platform whereby we are collecting those electronic waste for in exchange for a value. So I am not the only one in the team. I myself are the CEO, and also I have about 4 people that also join me in this move. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abdul Basit. Thank you so much for that. Now let's call on his father dancing.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, my name is in a Kwanga and I go here to one computer parents that but for some of we have always a wish for us, which actually is popular in Nigeria, saying that one day we'll be in the state. Right. So passionate youth with my team, we're so focused on achieving SDG goals for 2019. Because our current initiative have already reached out to about 1,001 to 1,300 direct and indirect beneficiaries, with a focus to promote gender and inclusiveness in Akwanga, Lafia, Northern Nigeria, and 40 females and 20 males for the place. Yeah, if I start by the issues, we're inspired by issues of digital plastic waste, and those kids that are roaming about, especially in Nigeria. So what we do is we do host summer camps for kids and vulnerable groups, where we make them gather a ton or half of plastic waste. Then instead of paying 20,000, because we charge 20,000 for our trainings, we then say, okay, bring this plastic, because we're trying to reduce and keep a safe air. So we say, okay, gather this plastic in one place, then pay 5,000 or 10,000 instead for your training. And most times we also reach out to donors to help us give scholarships to the vulnerable groups and the people with disabilities. So we have a 10 computer capacity hall, which we train them in badges, we teach them Scratch programming, we teach them Python, we teach them machine learning, graphics design, and other hands-on projects. So we also make them responsible for at least one SDG goals. So with the stipends we have gathered and with the sales of plastic we do to organizations and individuals, we're able to gather a little that has been sustaining us for the past 3 to 4 years. So one of our key projects we're working on achieving is the High School SDGs Festival, which we plan to reach out to 50 schools in North Central Nigeria for the next 2 years. We'll train them in climate change and also in tech. So we're seeking for more partners and sponsors to help us achieve this project. So if you join us in this mission, I believe together we can make an impact in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, please. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's call on Choma Fabi.
Hi everyone. I think
Choma.
I thought it's kind of bad, so I'll just turn off my camera. I just really want to see my face. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Choma Babi, and I am the founder and executive director of Scale Up with Katso, SUK. Sook is a social tech startup on a mission to empower young people from marginalized communities. I'm very, very passionate about SDG 10 because my team and I have focused solely on reducing inequality by providing young people from marginalized communities with access to skills training and economic opportunities. And since we've been doing this, we've been able to bridge opportunity gap and promote inclusivity. One of the initiatives or contribution that we've done in achieving this SDG is for us to set up Sook as a social startup, a social tech that is a social enterprise. And we've dedicated it in empowering young people with vital vocational skills like carpentry, plumbing, auto mechanic. And then after that, we've also developed a marketplace platform where these young people solely can seamlessly transition into our marketplace, start selling and making money. Unlike the regular tradition that happens where people just help train these young people, give them certificates, take pictures and go off. Sook has taken an extra step and mile to now create a marketplace where we can now promote them heavily so that they can be able to make money. And these skills don't just die off, right? What really inspired me is a personal story that not just a personal story that happened to me, but a personal story that happened to a couple of people I know, right? I noticed that some of them were really, didn't have access to opportunities. For me, I went to a private school, right? And I had a couple of friends that didn't even just continue their secondary education. Some of them did, but they started very late and they were beating around the bush and they didn't really, some of them, it was because they didn't have money to start up. So I told myself, why don't I just start up something where we train these young people in skills that they could start making money from, save it up for something. It could not be, it might be for their siblings, it can be for their parents, it can be for themselves. But that was how we started Sook, because I noticed that a lot of people around me, and it wasn't just about my friends or people I had acquaintances with, it was about people that were living in their community. It could be police barracks, army barracks, it could be slums, it could be ghettos, but these young people, they were so passionate, they wanted to learn something, but they didn't have the opportunity to learn it. So we decided that we're going to break this cycle of poverty and break this cycle of young people beating around, having to resort to drugs or, prostitution or stealing, right? And then we are now making a lasting change in our community. And this is what inspired Sook. And so far, we've been able to, empower and transform the lives of over 800 young people that are currently selling on our marketplace and generating money. Last year, we were able to, pay out about $50,000 to these young people. And we're so happy to say that we've been, contributing to our SDG in a very creative way and a very interesting way. So we don't think we're tired anytime soon. Some of the next steps we actually are looking at is for us to, partner with more people. So one of the model of Sook is that we partner with, businesses or companies that are interested in social good. So what we do is we partner with them. So right now we have partnerships with Suzuki, right, where they train young people in auto mechanic, and after that they seamlessly transition to our marketplace. So we've partnered with these people. They help us train these young people because we might not have the money to set up, but these people have made a budget, for their CSR or something. So we now help them bring in these young people to train them. And after training them, they can now, start selling, right? So our future plan is to reach out to more companies to help us to train them in more skills like tailoring, hairdressing, and after that, we're looking at, reaching out to more communities. Right now, we're just in Lagos. We've done programs in Aba. We've done programs in Kaduna. So we want to now, reach out to more cities because we notice that a lot of marginalized cities in Nigeria, marginalized doesn't really mean that it's dead at all or something, but it's marginalized that they don't even have opportunities. So we get calls from other cities, but we're not able to reach them. So we're looking at reaching out to more cities. And finally, we're looking at enhancing our marketplace so it can accommodate more people to keep seeing the talents that we have been able to bring up in our communities and buy from them. And by this, we think that we'll be able to make a better change. So this is a summary of what Sook, my team, and myself has been doing for the past 2.5 years. So thank you very much for listening to me. And
thank you so much, Choma. Thank you for giving us insight into your work. That's an amazing thing that you have been doing. Okay, without wasting much time, I'll be calling on Abigail Anazamak.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm sorry about my voice. I'm just recovering. I hope you can hear me. Please, can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
All right, thank you. So I am Abigail Anazamak, and I am passionate about SDGs 4 and 5, quality education and gender equality. And so I work in two different dimensions. One is I work as programs associate with Relearn CCOB's education practice, where I facilitate or manage the design and implementation of various programs. And for She Solves, I lead the team there, where we work to reduce gender inequality in STEM. And I was speaking briefly about what I do at both places to expatiate on my passion about quality education. Yeah, so back in 2018, or back in secondary school, let me go that far, I struggled to grasp scientific concepts. I believed I was meant to be an art student, but my parents pushed me into sciences. And when I got into school, it was a struggle. I don't even have to read my non-science subjects as much as I do the sciences and excel well. But I was struggling, and it took the power of just one teacher who understood that he practically came to me and said, "You are a very intelligent student. Why are you failing my course?" That's my chemistry teacher. And he decided to bring in models into the class to teach me. And that year, I passed chemistry so well that the entire school was shocked, because I was promoted on trials in a federal school and promoted on trial to SS2 at the time. And ever since, up until now, I've come to understand that it takes an informed teacher to really transform the life of any student. So by the time I was in the university, I attended a conference where I learned about Sustainable Development Goals, and I saw SDGs 5 and SDGs 4, and I said, wow, there are many young girls that are also in secondary school level who may not be less intelligent, but their teachers may not be equipped with the best skill to teach them in their own way. So I took it upon myself, put together a team, and we started going into schools, trying to use experiential learning instead of the normal instructional method where a teacher comes to the class, tells you what the topic is, dictates notes to you, and maybe give you classwork, exams, and all of that. We wanted science to be more practical, to be more hands-on, to be more experiential for students, because for me, that was how I began to believe in myself that I could do well in the sciences. So we did a number of projects with girls using inquiry-based learning methods, where we don't tell you what we want to talk about. We keep using questions to help you get the concept. So the authority for learning, learners have their own agency. The girls have their own authority over their learning. And then we challenged them also using project-based learning, where we say, or problem-based learning rather, where we say, look at your environment, what challenge do you want? What problems are you experiencing? How do you think we can address it? And what classroom knowledge? What have you learned in chemistry? What have you learned in physics, in biology, in mathematics that can be applied into addressing this issue? And in 2019, girls said they wanted to address the issue of indiscriminate dumping of plastic waste. And we were able to collect like 7,000 units of plastic waste in the University of Ibadan and St. Anne's College, St. Anne's School, Molite, Ibadan. And we went ahead to apply various classroom knowledge, scientific knowledge in so we use the digital to GIS tool to collect the waste. We could capture the point location of everybody we collected that waste from over a period of 30 days. And we're able to build trash tiles, measure the rate of combustion, how much of CO2 was released, and the tensile strength of the tiles that we built. And so how many plastic waste went into building this dimension of trash tiles and all of that. And yeah, that was a double award-winning innovation. By the time I was done with my university education, I really wanted to work in the education sector, and I got into Co-Creation Hub, where we focus a lot on helping teachers use innovative methodologies and technology to deliver learning, especially STEM education. And I've been privileged to work on a number of projects where the focus is building evidence, gathering data from everything that we are doing, and drawing insights from it beyond just, okay, doing activities, taking pictures, and showing the world that we are doing something. We really wanted to understand the science behind learning, the science behind the innovative things that we were doing. And for me, that's really a very great way to look at things. I think one thing that drives me to work every day, even when I'm tired about maybe somebody frustrated me, or I'm just generally frustrated or tired about work, I just remember that for every project I design at my workplace, there's a teacher that is being empowered to transform the lives of their students. And maybe it's just one girl in his classroom that her life will be better, and that gives me joy. So for my future plans, or what I look at doing for She Solves, we've been using aside experiential learning methods. One other thing that we started doing recently was to use movie screenings, science-based fiction movies with girls. So we go from school to school in Ogun State, in Oyo State, majorly, and in Osun State as well. We go into schools, we have movie sessions where they watch like Hidden Figures, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, and we allowed the girls to discuss at the end what were the challenges. How do you see yourself in this movie? How does it relate to you now? How does it inform your aspirations? And from there, we also saw the need. We saw that girls have this, do I say, liking for stories. They are very, very empathetic. And we found out last year, we tried to do a little bit of research into the Nobel Prize. And we saw that of the 600 plus Nobel laureates in STEM fields, only 23 as at then, but by October last year, we had 24 women in STEM, and none of these women is from Africa. So if an African girl cannot see it, she cannot dream it. If she cannot see a woman who is excelling in STEM like her in her color, she cannot dream it. So we've been working on a project, like a knowledge product, where we are trying to tell the stories of these Nobel laureates in a very exciting way. And from there, use that as a catalyst to start gathering stories of African women who are really doing amazing things in STEM. So we started that in June this year as an intergenerational dialogue. So we brought in 4 generations of women from secondary school and undergraduate students, and earlier, like somebody that just got into the workforce, and then a veteran in STEM, to really discuss about why women are not really going into STEM and what can we do to address that, to reduce the barriers for women in STEM. So those are like the things that we are currently working on. And we are looking for, if you know any woman who is really doing any amazing thing in science fields in Africa, please, we are ready to work with her to get her story out to young girls out there. And if you have any projects that relates with teacher training, development, and so on and so forth, I'm very much open to working with you on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Abigail. Wow. This is amazing, amazing. I'm saying innovation, I'm saying initiative, I'm saying impact, I'm saying accountability, I'm saying collaboration. Wow. See, young people, like I said, young people are doing work, amazing work, even without so much support, with little resources. We are seeing people taking on initiatives that are going beyond their boundaries. And one thing I would like to see is for us to also include our contact details, because I'm seeing collaboration here is something that we can net to just ensure that you also drop in your contact details. You never know who wants to work with you. You never know who wants to collaborate and dish out some resources. So I don't want to take so much time. I don't want us to go beyond 12, but I want us to also note that we'll be taking a virtual picture. Yes, a virtual picture. So in some minutes ago, we'll be opening up our cameras and we'll take a picture. And right now, I just want to pass the mic to Joshua Alade as he takes the closing remarks.
Wow, what a morning. I have been blown away, guys. Thank you so much. First, I want to say thank you to Mr. Ronald Kayanja. He's always available whenever we call him. and he really gave a very thoughtful keynote speech on the need for us to keep working together for the SDGs, and for us as young people to never stop asking for our own engagements in the sustainable development goals in Nigeria. And also thank you so much to Mr. Prince Will Ogbodo. I've known Prince Will for 3 years now, since our partnership with Oxfam in Nigeria began during International Youth Day. And I would say it's just beautiful when you have international partners like the UN, have like Oxfam believe in the work that you are doing. And for us, for everyone who has spoken here today, for everyone who has been spotlighted, I want you to know that this is not the end, this is the beginning. The material you have in your hand is an opportunity, and anywhere you're going, that's your elevator pitch. Go anywhere and say, hey guys, Nigeria has 70 million young people, and I was among the 50 young persons who were recognized for the work that they are doing on the SDGs in Nigeria. Do you want me to show you my picture? Do you want me to show you? Hey, look at the partners. It's by Oxfam. It's by the Network of Youth for Sustainable Initiative. Do you want me to go online? Like, you don't need, when sometimes when you're doing something, people tell you, oh, what do you need to show about the work that you are doing? If you're not an eloquent speaker like Abigail or like Bolu Atife or Peace or anyone here, you can use that and say, look at this, because they are not everyone can speak fluently, but hey, we can see the work that you are doing. And I really want to congratulate everyone for the work that you do. Please never stop, never stop. I am going to be sharing a link to a WhatsApp group by the United Nations in Nigeria. It's a WhatsApp group for just young people in Nigeria who are creating change. So please join that group. Mr. Ronald Kayanja is on the group. Mr. Dr. Oluseyi Soremeko, the National Information Officer for the United Nations Information Center, is on the group. Mrs. Bolanle Olumeko is on the group. There are lots of young people. There are a lot of amazing people on the group. So please join that group. I've just put the link in the chat. Join the chat, join the group. Always be posting what you are doing. Remember, it is only when you keep sharing that people can see the work that you are doing. You need.
Sorry, where did you drop the link?
It's on the chat. It's on the chat. I'll drop it again.
Is
now.
it a Facebook page?
It's a WhatsApp group.
Okay.
I have dropped it again. Please, can people stop sharing so that everyone can have access to that WhatsApp group? So you can have access to the link of the WhatsApp. Just click the link and join that group. It's where the United Nations in Nigeria, that's where they are. If you are doing anything important in your community, always share on the group so that they can see it and know that young people are not just in Lagos alone. Young people are not just in Abuja alone. There are young people in Benue, there are young people in Nasarawa, there are young people in Adamawa, there are young people in Enugu, in Bayelsa, in Borno, there are young people. Please join the WhatsApp group. There are young people in Akure, yes. So we are all change makers, and I really want to congratulate you. Please, this is not the end. It's a 1 week of festival on the SDGs, but for us, we are going to keep working with every 50 of you who have been spotlighted, and if there are other people, we will also showcase them throughout the next 1 year. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Bolu Atife, for the fantastic moderation. Fumilayo, thank you so much. So these are my colleagues. They've been the one doing the amazing work. Thank you, Bolu Atife. Thank you, Fumilayo. And thank you, Paul. Thank you, Peace. Thank you for everyone who has spoken on the panel today. Thank you so, so much. And then I'm going to pass this over to Bolu Atife so that we can have the virtual photo session.
Okay, thank you so much, Joshua. Right now, I just want us to turn on our cameras and smile. You can say cheese. So we'll be taking the screenshot. It's a virtual picture. So please make sure to turn on your camera.
Hold on. I think we need to get something right. I don't know. It's finding difficult to have
Hi, Heritage. We want to see you.
Okay, great. So
I promise. I am Ra.
Okay, great.
Hi, Samuel. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Alfred. So in 1 minute, let's turn on our cameras. Let's smile. Let's say cheese.
Boluwatife, have you snapped or you are about?
Okay, please smile.
How to?
I think we're good now. Yeah, we're good. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to everyone for joining in. Thank you to all our spotlight nominees. We're so, I know, we're excited. Let me use that word again. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.